Good morning, America. Welcome to the CB Speaks News Channel. I'm your host, Shazabeth, coming live from Holland, Michigan on April 23rd. Viewers, this week's stories will keep you on the edge of your seats. We go from firm believers in voter involvement to educational lessons, and finally, a special guest from the Voter Involvement and Education Committee. First, to our headline story. A new committee has been formed in West Michigan. The Voter Involvement and Education Committee was founded last week by 4 intelligent American citizens. They strive to make our democracy better, as they stated it is doomed. This group of Yasmin, Shalza, and Olive and Johanna fight to include more Americans in the democratic system of voting. They do this by making more educational programs on how to vote and get involved in our country. They want to raise awareness of politics in our society today as they affect every single American. Moving on to the educational process. As stated before, these women want to improve our democracy by informing our country about voting. They want to create high school courses that are solemnly based on politics and voting. They will include community services and ways to volunteer. At the end, you can or will be able to register to vote. Now on to Chatting with Shalza, a segment where I interview a special guest based on our topic. Today, we will interview Yasmin Angulo, a founder and member of the Voter Involvement Committee. Good morning, Ms. Angulo. Thanks for coming to Chatting with Shalza.
Good morning. I'm really happy to be here.
So, Ms. Angulo, as you are a founding member of the VIE Committee, what was the group's thought process and motives while creating it?
So our team wanted to improve our democracy because we do believe it is doomed to fail. So instead of leaving it as it is, we decided to find the main issues in our democracy and fix them. As we researched, we found out that our voter turnout rates are extremely low. And although they're growing, the more ways we encourage people to vote, the better it is for our country.
Wow. So following up on that question, what do you plan to do in your committee?
So since we wish to increase the voter turnout rate, but also ensure that single-issue voters or people do not make votes with no political background information, to carry out our plan, we will issue a new high school course that teaches how to vote, what it means to vote, and what you're voting for. Not only that, but at the end of each semester of the course, students will be required to do a type of community service, if old enough, register to vote, or a project summarizing their learning experience and what they can do to implement this on their daily lives. This will provide a clear way for students to see issues in our community and environment that could also affect them, and by the end of it, we will have more educated and registered voters.
That is great. So as you stated, it will be an added course to high schools. Will it be required for students to take, and what will the class count for as credit?
No, it won't be required. The course will only be a substitute or additional for required social studies courses. If it was required, students would feel forced to learn, which is completely the opposite of what we want. We don't want them to feel like that.
Of course. You also stated that our voter turnout is overall really low. Why do you choose to make a high school course instead of something for all ages?
That's a really good point. We think the younger generation is the coming one. Not only that, they also have lower voter turnout rates throughout our entire country. Educating the uprising age is a guarantee for future voters. Young voters ensure more representation and a comprehensive reflection of the populace's will. Although it won't have an immediate impact, it will set a precedent for the future generations.
Amazing! Similar to my previous question, how will this help younger generations?
It will help younger generations by encouraging them to take educated votes on what will help themselves and what goes with their political viewpoints, rather than a random vote based on what the political candidate looks like or just one policy issue they believe in. Not only will this help younger voters, it would also help our country as a whole.
These were amazing answers, Ms. Angulo. That's all the questions I have for you today. Thank you so much for coming.
It was great being here.
Now back to the CB Speaks News Channel for your local weather update. Residents of West Michigan look forward to the yearly Tulip Time Festival in Holland, Michigan for their vibrant tulips showcased around city streets. However, many Holland residents see tulips already start to bloom almost a month before scheduled, which is the week of May 6th. The Holland Board states that tulips are on time, but many remain concerned. However, spring events mean spring weather, so Michiganders get excited about incoming spring shines as we see a high of 63 this week on Saturday and a low of 50 tomorrow. We thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Shazabet, and I'll see you next time on CB Speaks.